There are 4 new head coaches in the ACC this spring, and boy, are their plates full. I want to start with Duke. Mike Elko takes over for David Cutcliffe. Elko, defensive coordinator at Texas A&M, did a great job there. Seemed poised to maybe land a Power 5 job sooner than later. Maybe it's going to be another year or two. Ends up going to Duke, which surprised some. Some thought he might wait for a bigger job. He takes over for a Duke program that has shown that, hey, they can contend for an ACC title, maybe not win it. But the issue is has it fallen off the cliff these last 3 to 4 years to a point where you can't get it back there with as competitive as everything is becoming in the division. But Mike Elko in his introductory press conference said, hey, we're not just going to contend for championships, we're going to win championships at Duke. It's not happening this season. He's got to install his culture there first this spring. Move over to Virginia. Tony Elliott, the former Clemson offensive coordinator, takes over there after the surprising exit of Bronco Mendenhall. Virginia, I think, is going to be worse off this season than a lot of people are expecting. I think a lot of people are just looking at Brennan Armstrong returning a quarterback, the record-setting quarterback. I think he had 8 or 9 records set last season, and just think, hey, things will be just fine. Not necessarily. 21 players entered the transfer portal as of this recording. That's tied for, I think, the 3rd or 4th most in the entire country entering this spring. A lot of things to fix there, and Tony Elliott has his plate full. Meanwhile, down the road at Virginia Tech, Brent Pry, Penn State assistant coach, understands the Virginia Tech problem. Blue-collar guy comes in. They didn't have a lot of defections, so that's good. But it's a new era on offense. They got a new quarterback, all new receivers. Their returning receiver, who's the leader there, only had 100-plus snaps last season. I think 7 catches total. And then also at quarterback, that's going to be the big issue for them as they go with 2 transfers in a quarterback battle this spring and probably going into the summer. Jason Brown for South Carolina, he actually came in and started last season. If you guys remember, he upset Auburn and upset Florida, and then he entered the transfer portal and is now at Virginia Tech. And Grant Wells, the former Marshall quarterback, now at Virginia Tech. 2 really good quarterbacks to pick from here if you're Virginia Tech. Still, big plate. And then Miami, the hire of the offseason in the conference. Mario Cristobal leaves Oregon to return to his native at Miami and his alma mater. Amazing coaching staff there that he has built, and he's still not done. They've already started spring practice, and everybody wants to talk about quarterback, the offense, and how great they might end up being this year with Tyler Van Dyke. But my big question is not necessarily changing the culture or the recruiting or the transfer portal. My big question for Miami is, can you just simply improve the fundamentals on that defense? It sounds boring. No one wants to talk about technique and fundamentals, but Miami, their defense was incredibly bad these last few years, which is surprising to say because Manny Diaz is a defensive guy. That's how he made his hay, and now he's out, been fired, replaced by Mario Cristobal, because get this. According to Pro Football Focus, Miami had the 3rd worst tackling team in the FBS last season. And it wasn't good the year before that, too. So, Miami, they've got some talent, and we always talk about how they always got some maybe good pass rushers at Miami. But that doesn't mean anything if you're missing tackles and you're not playing good fundamental and good technique football. So, Kevin Steele comes in, and to me, I equate this to a lot to what he took over when he took over at Auburn as a defensive coordinator half a decade ago. He turned that into one of the top 5, top 10 defenses in the country practically overnight. Can he do that at Miami? If you simply fix those fundamentals and the technique, you could probably have this defense playing in the top 25 or top 30 level. And if that's the case, hey, we'll get a good sign of it this spring. And if that is the case, maybe Miami could be an ACC contender sooner than later.